everybody, and Happy New Year. It's our first show of the 2026 calendar year of the GVSU Basketball Weekly Insider. We're coming to you live once again inside the GVSU basketball offices. We got a lot to touch on. It's been a few weeks. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the holiday season, Christmas and New Year. And like I said, we got a brand new calendar year, and we're going to recap what has transpired over the last couple of weeks before and after the New Year holiday. As always, we begin our first half hour talking about the GVSU men, who currently sit at 9-3 overall, 2-2 in GLIAC play after we took that long and winding road trip up to the UP split. It began on Friday with a bang, beating the number 5 team in the country in Houghton, the Michigan Tech Huskies to be exact, 79-75, then followed up with a tough setback at Vandement Arena in Marquette, Michigan, 72-60 to Northern Michigan to sit where they are at right now. And to talk about what has transpired most recently, he is the head man himself, Cornell Mann. Corn, Happy New Year, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you.
Well, let's recap what happened over the weekend, but before that, we did have a couple of games. You know, the last time we talked was after the cup of coffee in GLIAC play. You took on Malone. Obviously, that buzzer-beating loss. But I want to start off by after that buzzer-beating loss to Malone, you took on Aquinas. Obviously, a rough first half. You rebounded in the second half and ended up beating them by 22 points. And then you go up to the UP, you split in what are two really tough environments, a tough road trip. How do you think your guys responded after that buzzer-beating loss to the Pioneers?
I think they responded well. You know, it's interesting because you say, how do you think your guys responded? And I'm starting to put in my head, like, which guys? Like, which team did we have at that time?
Yeah.
You know, we just got, obviously you're going to have Mark on here in a minute, but we just getting guys back, and so the team has changed a number of times. But I thought we responded well. I think we're in a good place. I felt like I felt like then that the guys are locked in, you know, and you know, whatever injuries we have, we got Toby, who is our trainer, who is handling things at a high level, and so, you know, one day at a time, one practice at a time. But through all of that time, I do feel like, and I felt like then that the guys are locked in.
We're going to dip into the performances of the week presented by Trinity Health, the official sports performance provider of GVSU Athletics. And like I said, Corn, to kick off that UP trip in Houghton, 79-75. And I described it on the broadcast, the physicality compared to like Greco-Roman wrestling. Just bodies hitting the floor everywhere. It's always physical when you head up to the UP. But you had some big performances offensively by a Jalen Charity, who had a new career high, 22 points. Ethan Aldrink, he's been consistent with 14 points. It seems like he just puts up double figures in each game offensively, and then you had Trevor Smith with a dozen. But defensively, going up against a Marcus Tomaszek, one of the most prolific scorers in the country during his collegiate career, defensively, what got it done specifically in that game?
Well, I think the guys were locked in, so the game plan was in place. And at the end of the day, we were not going to allow him to beat us. I thought the guys did a job locking in on him, But they have a good enough team that if you stop him, they can still beat you. And I felt like, you know, the getting ready for that game, and I know I keep saying locked in, but our guys was as focused as they have been. Obviously, you're going up north to the defending champions, playing them on their home floor, number 5 in the country. It gives you a little more zest. I'd like to keep that zest no matter who we're playing. But I felt like guys was focused not only on Tomaszek, but on the entire team. And what ended up happening is we did a good job on the perimeter guys, and the post guys did get loose a little bit, but not to the point or the tune of a loss.
Then the quick turnaround on Saturday against Northern Michigan, another tough opponent. You end up falling 72-60. Again, Ethan Aldrink, 14 points. Anton Allen, I want to talk about him briefly here in just a moment. He came to life offensively with a baker's dozen. Trevor Smith again in double figures with 11 points. But ultimately, you guys got some good looks. That's a team that's number 1 in the country in points allowed per game. In terms of the three-point shooting, I know it's not where you want it to be in terms of a percentage. Is it just a matter of confidence, bad luck? What say you on that department?
Well, I felt like, and I know we talked after the game, but I felt like we defended well enough to win the game. At the end of the day, you have to be able to, in a high level game like that, back-to-back games, you have to be able to concentrate and finish shots in order to win that game. 4 of 22 will not get it. Whether that's fatigue, legs fatigue, mental fatigue, whatever, lack of concentration, whatever the situation is, we have to be better than that offensively. But again, I thought defensively we did the job. I felt like the guys played really hard. I thought they played together. And so now the area in which I feel like we faltered in terms of losing that game was on the glass. I thought that was the area that we faltered. And if if we could do it, because if you think about it, 4 of 22 from 3, didn't shoot well from the free throw line, got out rebounded. Honestly, we probably should have lost that game by 25 or more. And I just think that's a testament to how hard the guys played. But yeah, I mean, we just some of the guys just finished shooting. We have to shoot the ball better. And I think back-to-back games would cause the type of fatigue that would have you, again, whether it's mental, physical, emotional, whatever, that would have you miss shots. We have to be better mentally focused in order to knock those shots in, because a big game like that, big-time game like that, you need buckets to fall. And we got the guys to do it. There's no question about that. And so we just have to have a better focus after playing a tough game and winning a tough game. You got to be able to flip the switch.
So, again, the men split up in the UP, beat Michigan Tech, and then fall most recently to Northern Michigan by a dozen. I mentioned Anton Allen. Seems like he's getting his footing in terms of being the scorer that you want him to be. But another player that returned from injury, he's been out since the first weekend of the season, David Wilkerson. Talk to me about those two players and what a player like David Wilkerson adds to the lineup.
Well, what happens is, for us is, like if you think about Dave, obviously Dave came from Youngstown. He's long. He's an athletic player. He's a very heady player. He has a nice IQ. He got a great feel with the IQ. He's passionate on both sides of the ball. So he bring a lot to the table. Even if you don't see it in the stats, he bring a lot to the table. And Anton, to me, is really just getting started. He's really just getting started, and I think it's fair to say that's a true transition from NAIA to Division II, or from another program to our program, because a lot of times it's Division I, and those guys, still have that transition to make. And I think he's now making a transition that'll be good for him. Obviously, it'll be good for us.
Our special guest coming up here in a few moments on the men's side is Marcus Gray, a sophomore. This is year number 2 for him, Corn. Talk to me about him. How has he grown in his game here now in year number 2?
Well, the thing that's interesting about Mark is, if you remember last year, Mark, I think he had 16 in the first game. He was rolling. Then he came up with an injury. He was out for like 2 weeks. Then he came back. It's tough for a freshman. He came back, and he was scratching and clawing to get back to that level where he was at, and he showed glimpses through the rest of the year, but never really got back. Same thing happened this year. I mean, he was playing really, really well, and then boom, injury, and now he got to make the transition again from injury back to where he should be. And I think for us is we just have to be patient some with him, and really he got to be patient with himself, just in terms of expectations. You're not getting him or David. You're not getting it all back in I mean, they were out for like a month.
Yeah.
You're not getting it all back in a week. You're not getting it all back in 4 or 5 practices. It's going to take a little time to get yourself back acclimated. But Mark is a high level athlete. Mark is obviously a really good human being, a high standard guy in terms of academics and character. Love him to death. I think his game is really still at a level where he has a lot of ceiling left in it. And this year, in the next game, you feel me, Mark? And so, and part of that is just being in the type of shape you need to be in to play the level you need to play in. But we have been and still is excited about Mark.
Marcus Gray will join us after this timeout as you're listening live to the first edition of the GVSU Basketball Weekly Insider for the year 2026. We're live inside the GVSU basketball offices here on the Grand Valley Sports Network. Back live inside the GVSU basketball offices. Again, Happy New Year to everybody out there. Our first show of 2026 as we're cruising along with our men's conversation. It's time now for Grind Time with Big B Coffee. It's time to be. Our special guest joins us. He's a sophomore from Memphis, Tennessee. Marcus Gray II joins us tonight. Marcus, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Are you sick of the snow yet?
Man, I've been sick of it.
Well, you being from Memphis, Tennessee, we were talking before we came on the airwaves. You don't get a lot of snow down there in Tennessee, maybe an inch or two at most each winter, right?
Yeah, not that much, honestly. And if we did get a lot of snow, everything would get canceled, so I'm not used to all this snow.
Yeah, because they don't have the snow trucks or anything like that, salt trucks, you name it. But we talked last year, the UP trip. It's always a unique experience for you seeing all that snow, especially with how much snow they've gotten this year. Marquette, we had to push the games back because of the power outages going on in Marquette. When you make that trek up, it was like almost 11 hours making that bus trip. You look out the window, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
It's really a whole new world for me, honestly, because I've never seen so much snow in one place and seen people just going outside, shoveling the snow, having a good time. It's really a whole new world for me because down south, when we did get snow, we wouldn't really go outside or shovel and all that stuff, but it was a whole new world for me.
So on the basketball side of things, as I mentioned, you're now a true sophomore, and Corn said in the first segment, unfortunately, you battled some more injuries in the Sioux Falls trip, took a hard spill, dealing with a knee injury, but thankfully it was nothing too serious. You missed a little bit of time. You came back. How are you adjusting once again, just like your freshman year, battling through injury?
Honestly, just trying to get back to how I was as I started the season. I know this knee injury, it did set me back a little bit, but I know just progressively over the next couple games, next couple practices, I'll get back to my flow and find my footing.
And you got the start over the weekend, both games in the UP. What's your mentality when the coach says, hey, you're in the starting five comparing to coming off the bench? Does your mentality change at all?
Honestly, it's the same. I mean, it really doesn't matter how I start the game. It really just matters how I finish the game, honestly. Because I think coming off the bench, it was fun. Starting, it's been fun, but at the same time, my mentality is the same. Just go out and play my best.
And in terms of your development, where have you seen the biggest growth, whether it's offensively or defensively?
I would definitely say defensively. I've become a much better defender being at this program because we're so defensive heavy. We have to play defense, have to be in the gaps in order to get in the game. Offensively, I think I still have some things to work on. I feel like my ceiling is a little bit higher than most with my offensive game, but it takes time over the next couple of years that I have.
In terms of the academic side of things, do you have a major picked out?
Yes, I do have a major picked out. I'm in marketing.
Marketing, okay. Yep. I know you still got a few years left here for your collegiate career, but do you have in mind maybe what you want to do for a career when your basketball playing days are done?
I was thinking about going into pharmaceutical sales.
Okay.
I just wanted to look into the drug, the drug companies and all that stuff, talking to doctors, selling products, stuff like that. And then I have people that I know that were into the pharmaceutical game for a little bit, so I'll have some experience and people that will help me out.
And for those who don't remember our conversation, coming from Memphis, Tennessee, people are maybe thinking, wow, Grand Valley State got a kid from Memphis, Tennessee to come to Allendale. What made you want to come to Grand Valley State and play for Corn?
I would definitely say Coach Corn himself. He really did a good job pitching this school to me. Another reason why is because I have a lot of family on the east side in Detroit, and I wanted them to be able to see my games, my collegiate games and stuff like that. And then another reason why is that this school has a great business program. So I knew that if I got my degree here, I could really go anywhere with my degree.
Did you really know much about Grand Valley State prior to Corn recruiting you at all?
Not at all.
No?
Not at all.
Talking to Marcus Gray here on the GVSU Basketball Weekly Insider. I mentioned the record. You were sitting next to Corn here. You guys are 9-3, 2-2 in GLIAC play. Could easily have double-digit victories. Couple of tough losses, including the Saginaw Valley State game. Mentioned the Malone game. What do you like about your team's performance so far?
I think so far I think that we're more locked in than ever. I think honestly that this team is more focused and more locked in than ever.
What can a win against the number 5 team in the country, Michigan Tech, do for this team? I know, obviously, with the back-to-back games, you lost the next day, but just going to their place, beating a top 5 team nationally, how much wonder can that do for this team going forward?
It really shows us that we can beat anybody in the country, honestly. It really shows us that we can be the best team in the country. We can make a deep run in the postseason. It shows us that we are a great team. We're not a mediocre team. We are a real, legit team.
And going now into 2026, back into GLIAC play, you reignited it over the weekend. Now you're at home for the next 3 games over the next couple of weeks here. I guess from a team standpoint, what do you want to see? What's the biggest thing that you feel like this team needs to improve on?
That's a great question. I think the biggest thing we need to improve on is probably communication a little bit more. I feel like sometimes when we're out there, our communication isn't as high as it's supposed to be. And then one other thing I think we can improve on is just shooting the ball. I'm not going to lie, these past couple games, we haven't been shooting the ball the best, but obviously it happens. It's basketball. So the shot will fall down, but I feel like shooting the ball and communication can definitely be better. It's something we can improve on.
Is it just a matter of confidence, seeing the ball go through the hoop, or is it just bad luck when it comes to the three-point shooting?
I would definitely say just bad luck because I feel like all the guys on our team, we're confident shooters. We definitely know that we can shoot the ball. I feel like it's just some days it goes in, some days it doesn't.
Do you have family that come to a lot of games, especially at home?
Yes, I do. My dad comes to a lot of games. He flies up here.
Okay.
Shout out to you, Pops. He comes to a lot of games. My grandmother, my grandfather, my aunts, my cousins, they come to a lot of games whenever we go to Wayne State or sometimes at home. My mom, she's came to a couple games as well. So I do have a lot of family that come to the games.
How much does that mean to you to see your dad, or even your parents for that fact, come from Memphis, Tennessee, fly, frequently to Allendale, the Grand Rapids area, to come see you play? How much does that mean to you?
Man, it means the world to me, honestly, because sometimes it feels a little lonely here not having my people from Tennessee. But at the same time, whenever I see my father and my mother, it means a lot to me. It does. It really does.
But it also helps all the players I've talked to throughout the year. It's a tight-knit group. You're very close with these teammates. And in terms of the roommate situation, who do you room with?
I room with Cam Regneris, Matt Elderkin, and Jackson McGee.
I'm sure that's a fun space to be in.
Love them to death.
What do you guys like to do during your off time when you don't have school or basketball to worry about?
Really just hang out with each other, go out, get something to eat, talk to each other, play video games, stuff like that. Just regular college things. Those are definitely the main ones that we do. We sometimes go to the movies, see a movie or something like that, but just really chill, hang out with each other, bond as teammates, stuff like that.
What's your favorite video game?
My favorite video game right now is definitely Mafia. I've been on Mafia a lot.
Okay.
And it's been pretty fun. I got it last week, and I've been playing it a lot. So
Xbox, PlayStation, what do you guys?
PlayStation.
Much better than Xbox in your opinion?
10 times better than Xbox.
All right. You big NBA 2K guy at all?
I was back in my prime days, but now I laid off of 2K. It's too much money. Too much, yeah, man. I laid off 2K.
Do you have a favorite basketball player, whether it's former or current, that you just admire or try and take your game after?
I'll say I have two: Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and then C.J. McCollum. Those are my two.
Okay. What about their games you like the most?
With Shai, I like his pace and how he gets downhill to the mid-range area. I like how he uses contact, uses his body. With C.J. McCollum, I like his poise. I like his pace. I like how he gets to the mid-range area as well, and he can knock down the three ball as well.
Before I let you go, Marcus, again, appreciate your time from a team standpoint the rest of the way here. The GLIAC, it's never easy. What's going to determine the success of this team going forward?
Really just us. It's really us versus the world. I think I really think that it's really just us against everybody else in the GLIAC. I feel that whenever we lose, it's really on us. It's never just a bad game or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, Marcus, we appreciate your time. He is Marcus Gray, sophomore out of Memphis, Tennessee, joining us. Appreciate it, man, and let's go get it this week.
Man, thank you for having me.
We'll take a break. When we come back, head coach Cornell Mann will retake the seat as we'll preview what's to come for the men. Like I said, we're at home for the next couple of weeks. More of the GVSU Basketball Weekly Insider is coming your way next here on the Grand Valley Sports Network. GVSU Basketball Weekly Insider is presented in part by Flow Sports, where you can watch the Lakers all season long. Brian Fongers back live inside the GVSU basketball offices. Our first show of 2026, wrapping up our men's conversation. It's always the fastest hour on the radio. Head coach Cornell Mann rejoins us. Corn, we're going to preview what's to come here. We're not going to have a show for a few weeks, but we're not going to get into all the games that we have coming up here. But in the immediacy, you got Wayne State on Thursday, 3-1-3 against the 6-1-6 here in Allendale. 7:30 for the men, roughly 7:15 with the pregame coverage. Then Saturday at 3 o'clock, you get Purdue Northwest. The following week, it's just one game at home, crosstown showdown against Davenport at 7:30. And then that following week on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, you got that doubleheader against Ferris State, and we're back on the road. So, Corn, in the immediacy here, nice three-game homestand. It's good to be back at home. It seems like it's been a few months since we've been here at the Fieldhouse Arena.
Yeah, looking forward to playing. I mean, always looking forward to playing at home. I mean, and, you know, it'd be nice to, you know, for the students to be here. Hopefully this weekend we'll get some here, and obviously against Davenport. But, you know, what's interesting is in the past 3 years, you could make a case for maybe a team or two not being as good in the league, and you think you got a game or two that you can, you know, feel good about. There is no game in the league this year where you can feel good about it. Every team is playing well. Every team is well coached. Every team has really nice players, and you know the competition level is high, and so we have to come out each and every game and fight like hell to make sure that we do what we need to do to get a win. Wayne State is a good team, no doubt about it. Wayne State has some good players, and they play with they have some really good athletes, and they play with a lot of physicality. This is probably the best defensive team I've seen Wayne State have. And so we're looking forward to matching up with everyone, obviously Wayne State first. And then Purdue Northwest is, you know, they got a new coach, and so it's a new style of play. But they, you know, I just finished talking about Wayne State. They played Wayne State earlier in the year and beat Wayne State pretty handedly. And so, again, you know, each game we come at Davenport is playing really well. And so you know, you have to be ready to play any game, anyway, but you have to be ready to play in this league every single game, and one bad stretch, and that could be it for you. And so we got to concentrate on making sure that we don't have bad stretches. We could have a bad moment, but we cannot have a bad stretch in games.
Wayne State comes into the week 5-5 overall, 2-2 in GLIAC play. Purdue Northwest 6-5. They're 2-2 in conference play. And speaking of another team that's 2-2 in conference play, it's also Davenport. They're 8-4 overall. Corn, before I let you go, with this three-game homestand coming up, obviously more pivotal games ahead, what's your focus to the guys in practice this week?
Well, I think like today we had to really concentrate on us and try and figure out, you know, a little bit of offense, a little bit of shot selection in terms of, I mean, we got guys passing up shots, and I don't want guys passing up shots. You know, we should be ready on every catch to shoot the ball. If you don't shoot it, you don't shoot it, but you should be ready to shoot it every catch. And right now, we don't have everyone catching on ready, because if we did, I would expect those shots to go up. And so we just got to watch a little more film, get in the gym like we're doing, and make sure that we dot I's and cross T's and create the environment full of details so they can understand exactly where their scoring can come from. And, you know, we got a lot of guys who can score, but you have to be aggressive. You have to be aggressive to score. And I think, like you talked about Anton earlier, I think Anton, Javion, Mark, David, those guys are the guys that we need to, you know, just a little more each time, because they are very capable.
Again, Wayne State this Thursday at 7:30, Purdue Northwest at 3 o'clock. Then a week from Thursday, it's the Crosstown Showdown, all at home. Wraps up on the 15th with that homestand against Davenport again at 7:30. He's head men's coach Cornell Mann. Corn, as always, we appreciate it, and we'll chat with you this weekend.
Anchor up.
That is head men's coach Cornell Mann as we wrap up the first half hour on the GVSU Basketball Weekly Insider, our first show of 2026. When we come back, we're talking all things GVSU women's basketball. Still undefeated, still number one in the country after a couple of big victories up in the UP this weekend. Head women's coach Mike Williams will join us to talk about those games after this timeout here on the Grand Valley Sports Network. Presented in part by Earhart Construction. Right from the start, Brian Fongers back live inside the GVSU basketball offices as we've hit our second half hour as we begin our women's hoops conversation. Hey, they just continue to roll along. A couple more victories over the weekend, but they also had a couple of games centered around December before the holiday break transpired. They played Aquinas. We talked about the Quincy game, the last show before the holiday break, but you had Aquinas, and then you also had this UP trip. First couple of games the women had played in roughly a month. You only had 2 games over a span of a month in the month of December. Not a lot of games to be had, but we'll talk with head coach Mike Williams in just a second. The Laker women went up to Houghton, won by 20, 73-53 over Michigan Tech, then followed it up in a top 12 matchup nationally with a 12-point victory over Northern Michigan 78-66 as the Laker women now find themselves 12-0 overall, 4-0 in GLIAC play. Coach Mike, you guys continue to find ways to win some basketball games. Thanks for joining us. And how would you describe the weekend trip in a nutshell?
Well, you want to talk about the way up when we had the bus trouble and our kids froze, could see their breath, and the weather, and stopping in St. Ignace in the gym to shoot, and the 15-hour trip up was very eventful. It's things you won't forget. It's, we told our players, you're making memories. So, but then we got a chance to play back-to-back because of the switch with Northern and their power being out, which I thought was really cool. I like the back-to-backs going up there. You don't have that day in between. So I guess that was nice. It took us 2 days to get up there instead of 1, but we had 2 days of games back-to-back.
That's always a fun trip for you because you coached up in Houghton, you lived up there, you got to see some old friends. Is this your favorite trip of the season?
Well, it's the most nerve-wracking trip of the season. You count on the travel and the pressure on you to play well up there because you know a lot of people up there. But it's always good to go back and to see everybody. I saw a lot of old coaches, just you can name them, Gordy LeDuc, Jerry Racine, Kevin Lute, just so many coaches up there, come to these games and hang out. And both venues were packed, and that was really cool. Michigan Tech had a tremendous crowd, and then Northern, there was an open seat for that game, for both games. And so that's really cool to play in those kind of atmospheres, and even on the road, you like them. You really do. It's so much fun for your players.
On Friday against Michigan Tech, 73-53, Mackenzie Bisbal had an outstanding weekend offensively. She was named the GLIAC Offensive Player of the Week. Congratulations to her. She had 22 points, 7 rebounds. Paige Van Stee, 13 points, 4 rebounds. And Nicole Kameen, she also had a great weekend on both ends of the floor, but offensively, 11 points, 3 rebounds. And Coach Mike, the difference in that game from a statistical standpoint was the first and fourth quarters. You guys, again, did a good job of starting off the game hot, and you closed out the game in a nice way as well because it was tight in the middle.
Yeah, and I thought, we challenged our players a little bit at halftime. I thought they won the toughness battle. We talked about the rebound battle. I think we're down 4 at halftime. We point out a couple players that hadn't even gotten a rebound or had gotten one. I thought they were staying with plays more than we were. I thought they were getting through screens better than we were. Thought they obviously the rebounding edge they got through. So we challenged a little bit at halftime and said, hey, you guys started strong, and then we had that kind of lull. Then we came out that third quarter and played really well. They made a run because they're a good team, but we kind of weathered that storm and then finished really strong. And we turned that rebounding battle around, and I think we ended up plus 2 or 3. So that was good to see, to get challenged, talk about those things, and those players responded and the way they did was really good to see.
And Coach Mike, with that quick turnaround on Saturday afternoon, you go to Vandement Arena. That's a 1,400-seat venue, and I think that thing was sold out. There wasn't a seat to be had in that building. A top 12 matchup nationally, 78-66. And you guys had to battle some adversity in that fourth quarter. Had a 20-point lead. They chisel it down to a couple of possessions. Avery Zienster right in front of us hits that big three from the left wing. How would you describe that basketball game?
Well, it was intense, no question. It was very physical game. I think the officials let it go. Probably thought it was a top 15 matchup, and let's let these players decide it. And so that takes its toll on you. And like you said, the atmosphere was unbelievable. We kind of got up and stayed up and kind of silenced that crowd. And then I think it was maybe under 6. We were up 20, and all of a sudden we miss a layup. They come down, hit a 3. We come down, turn it over. They hit another 3, and all of a sudden it started to go. And I think they got it down to 7, and then Avery hit that deep 3 at the end of the shot clock. And it's a thing we go through in practice. Nicole penetrates in, pitches it back, and says, hit it. And she did. And, and it was just so many things went well, and then we did a better job defensively, closed them out. But, man, they're a team that can really, really score the basketball. They're a very talented team. They've got a veteran group like we do. They got those really good, solid 5 seniors and a lot of good young talent. They're very similar to us, and so we knew it would be a great matchup up there. And our players, like you said, they just kind of hung in there, and then ended up winning, by 10 or 12 at the end.
Offensively speaking, Nicole Kameen and Mackenzie Bisbal, 20 points apiece. Mackenzie had a double-double with 10 rebounds to boot. Lexi Plitzowite had a dozen points. Paige Van Stee, 8 points, 11 rebounds before she fouled out. But speaking of Nicole Kameen, we talked about it after the Tech game. Another new player to the 1,000-point club. Had her family and friends in attendance flashing the 1,000 signs. She got it done early in the Michigan Tech game, but talking to you after the game against the Northern Michigan Wildcats, you were like a proud father because I asked you if that was the most complete game your team played all season, and you said yes. Why?
Well, I think because a lot of things went into it. I thought we did a great job defending, taking away what they wanted to do. They're a very high, potent offensive team. I thought we were great with the ball. I thought we had a lot of players contribute. Molly's going to come up next year, and we do this gritty. We measure the unseen, the things that are unseen, and she won the gritty. She won the vest, and didn't score the points maybe, but hit 2 clutch free throws down the stretch. Just saw a lot of players step up, several young players step up and did a great job. And in that kind of atmosphere and playing back-to-back. Northern kind of played Davenport the day before and separated. Players didn't play a lot of minutes, and we really wore our players out against Tech from start to finish. And so to see them respond the way they did in that environment, I thought was really good.
Yeah, you mentioned Molly Anderson. She is our special guest on the women's side, redshirt senior out of Cadillac, Michigan. What has she meant to this program?
Well, it's ironic because, I'll never forget that. Just this picture of Timothy and Molly is we had an elite camp, and she came to camp, and, we all, the coaches, invite different players. And I said, hey, Phil, who's that player you invited over there, that number? He goes, yeah, I don't know. I was going to ask you who that player was you invited. And I said, I didn't invite her, but she's pretty good. And so after the camp, we talked in her office and talked about different things. And she ended up coming here to Grand Valley. And just to see, from when she got here to now, just the process of what type of player she's become. And, last year ended up being, and again, we have 10 starters, but ended up being that person that started the game for us, from way back, coming here and going through those first couple of years of redshirting, and then the toils as a freshman, sometimes as a sophomore, and to see now where she is now is that the leader. And our players say it. This senior group is just has been tremendous leaders, and she certainly is one of them. The younger players notice that her name comes up of someone that helps them out and talks to them and keeps on top of them during practice in a good way. And so, and she's just been great. She's been great doing her job. Defensive specialist, if you need that. She's a great rebounder, been a great distributor. She probably advances the ball between her and Lexi as good as anybody we've had down the floor. So if you run the floor, you're going to get the basketball. And then again, if she needs to take shots, she takes them. Needs to get the basket, she takes them, and kind of does whatever it takes to win. And so, man, these are players that you just appreciate when they're here, and you miss them, or you probably appreciate them a lot more when they're gone. So
no doubt. Well, we'll let Molly take the seat here after this timeout. Give you a breather, Coach Mike. When we come back, Molly Anderson will join us here for a conversation as you're tuning in live to the first show of 2026 of the GVSU Basketball Weekly Insider, live from the GVSU Basketball offices right here on the Grand Valley Sports Network. GVSU Athletics. Brian Fongers back live inside the GVSU basketball offices as we're cruising through the first show of 2026. And our special guest on the women's side joins us, redshirt senior out of Cadillac, Michigan. Molly Anderson joins us. Molly, thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, what a journey it's been for you. I'm sure your 5th season with the program. Want to start off on the academic side. Your major, what do you plan on going into once your basketball playing days are done?
Yeah, so I already graduated with my business degree, but I just applied for a MRI technician program, and I'll find out if I get in March, and so fingers crossed for that.
Well, congratulations on earning your degree at Grand Valley State. On the playing side, 5th season, like I mentioned in the program, winning a national championship last season. How did that feel?
I mean, it's just like a dream come true. It's like you think of that when you're super young, just playing out in the front yard, and winning it with my best friends was like everything we've kind of just in 4 seasons kind of put into one season all together, which was pretty awesome.
What made that team so special in your eyes?
I think the first thing I think of when I think of that team is we were just so connected, and everybody knew their role. Everybody knew what they had to do to win, and we didn't have to coach each other as much because we all kind of knew what we had to do. And so like if somebody went down, we had their back. If somebody else went down, like we were just all over the place. And we had everybody come back from the year before, so that really helped. But yeah, I'd say we were just really connected.
Now, what did you take from that senior class? Now being one of the senior leaders this year, what did you take from that senior class, whether it was on the playing surface or something they said to you? What did you take from last year that helped you going into this year?
Yeah, I think that class was they really emphasized like getting in the gym a lot and leading by an example more so like than vocally, but they were always in the gym, and I think that was something I was able to take away with like the hard work does pay off, and if the younger kids see us in the gym, they'll want to get in the gym too.
Where have you seen yourself grow the most as a leader, whether it's vocally or letting your play do the talk kind of thing?
Yeah, I think just probably vocally a little bit, but more so just I think on the court, I've been trying to be in games more so a leader, and in practice, I've kind of always feel like I've been a little vocal, but in the games, just kind of stepping up in the play-wise when they need somebody to make a play and not just hanging out in the corner.
Yeah.
So, yeah, in that area probably.
It's just the immense expectations and I guess the target on your back that you guys have every year. And with this year's group, especially with this senior class, I look at you guys and I go, boy, they just don't play with any pressure at all. How do you guys make that happen?
We kind of joke about it, but all the coaches and they all say we just like to have fun, and we've always just been gamers is what they called us. So just kind of knowing that like we're gonna play for each other, and whatever happens, but like we just like simply go out and play for each other, and that's kind of how people have like noticed that as well, is that we're going to pick someone up if they fall down and, yeah, just play our game.
As a student athlete, obviously you got to find that balance between work, school, and your leisure time. Talk to me about your roommates and how much fun do you have with your roommates?
Yep, my roommates are Nicole, Paige, and Lexi, and we have quite a good time. The most recent thing that we did was we made a Christmas card together. We took pictures in our matching Christmas pajamas by the Christmas tree and sent them out to everybody, and like said what our plans were for after basketball. So that was pretty fun. All
the family got the Christmas card and everything?
Yep.
Whose idea was that?
I kind of mine, but all of us, we put it together and we used Lexi's camera. So.
Talking to Molly Anderson here on the GVSU Basketball Weekly Insider. And you talked about the senior class. The coaches have mentioned it too. You guys are just laid back. But when the time comes, when adversity strikes like that Northern Michigan game, you guys focus in and you guys continue to just make plays and find ways to win basketball games. What's been the difference? I don't want to play the comparison game between last year's team and this year's team, but I guess what makes this team different compared to last year? Yeah,
I think all of us seniors have had to definitely step up a role in like playing our game because we didn't have to do as much so on the floor. Definitely that, but also just like coaching these younger kids so that when their time comes, they're able to take our place, and when they do get in the game, like encouraging them and helping them out when they need it, and just like noticing little things that could make them better and make our team better.
Where have you seen your game grow the most individually?
Probably, I mean, I don't shoot a lot, but like when I feel like I've become more consistent when I am shooting. So that's been nice to see. And defensively as well, I'm usually guarding one of the faster guards, and I've just been trying to pressure the ball more and like making them a little like frazzled.
Molly, before I let you go again, appreciate your time tonight. Your relationship with Coach Mike, how has that blossomed during your time here?
Yeah, he's great, and he cares for each of us so deeply, and that's why, like, I mean, there's nobody else I'd rather have coach me, because I know he's wanting the best out of me, and even when he is hard on us, but yeah, he's kind of a softie at heart, but he wants us to do well, and we can see it like by the way he coaches us.
Have you ever tried, whether it's during a practice or during a game, when he gets, he's got that exterior, we all know that he's tough. Mm-hmm. Have you ever tried, you or one of your teammates, to try and loosen him up at all, just to try and get him to crack a smile?
Not really.
Okay.
I won't lie. You just kind of say, "Yep, got it, coach," and then move down the. But sometimes AP's like, "Hey, it's okay, coach," like and yeah, he's all smiles after we win. So
yeah, no doubt. It's a long season. You gotta crack a smile or chuckle a time or two. Mm-hmm. Molly, we appreciate your time tonight. Best of luck the rest of the way, and let's have some more fun, shall we?
Thank you.
That's Molly Anderson joining us here on the GVSU Basketball Weekly Insider. We'll take one more break. When we come back, Coach Mike will rejoin us, and we'll preview what's to come. Busy couple of weeks because we won't have a show for the next 2 Mondays after tonight. We'll wrap things up after this from the GVSU Basketball offices here on the Grand Valley Sports Network.
Hey, Lakers.
The GVSU Basketball Weekly Insider is presented in part by GVSU Tickets, where you secure your seat to all the upcoming games. Brian Fongers back live one final time inside the GVSU Basketball offices as we wrap up our women's conversation. My thanks to Molly Anderson for joining us in the previous segment. Head women's coach Mike Williams rejoins us. And Coach Mike, we're not going to talk about all the games. We won't have another coaches show for a few weeks because we got a couple of Monday games to talk about that are sandwiched in between the most recent games that are coming up. Thursday, you get Wayne State, a really good Wayne State team that have not lost in GLIAC play. That's a 5:30 tip on Thursday, 5:15 with the pregame coverage here on the Grand Valley Sports Network. Then you get Purdue Northwest on Saturday at 1 o'clock, 12:45 with the pregame coverage. And then you get a rescheduled game. You're supposed to play Ashland in Ashland before the holiday break. That's been rescheduled to a week from today, Monday, January 12th at 5:30 against the Eagles. 5:15 will be the pregame coverage here from the Fieldhouse Arena. And then you wrap up your 4-game homestand, Coach Mike, a week from Thursday, Crosstown Showdown against Davenport at 5:30. That'll be 5:15 with the pregame coverage here on the Grand Valley Sports Network before you go back on the road on that week of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So, Coach Mike, let's talk about this coming weekend. Wayne State, Purdue Northwest. I know Purdue Northwest has been going through some things as a program. Give me your breakdown of what's to come this weekend.
Well, like you said, Wayne State is top of the GLIAC, and they're a very good team. They played in the preseason tournament this year down in Texas and did really well. They played probably the toughest non-conference schedule. Now we're in the GLIAC play. They played Ferris State, who's obviously another top team in the country. Beat them at home. And they're playing really well. Just got done 2 games. They just won 2 games, Lake State and Saginaw. So they're very versatile. They can play fast. They can slow it down. They can inside, outside. They can press you. They can pack in, play zones. They play a lot of players. They got a lot of depth. So there's a team you're not going to wear out at all. And they're a veteran team. They've got veterans again. They've got leaders and a solid group at the top. And so, it's a game that, again, you got to buckle them up just like you did in the UP and play again. And we talked about this stretch, this gauntlet here, going to UP and then playing Wayne and Ashland and Purdue Northwest. And then you got a Davenport kind of in between. They got to go on the road and play Parkside and Roosevelt and Ferris State. So this was the toughest stretch of our season. And, we're just getting into it. So it'll be good to see how we handle all this.
Yeah, again, 5:30 on Thursday, 1 o'clock on Saturday. And you don't have to go into all the details about the Ashland game being rescheduled, but having it back at home, another marquee matchup. You played Ashland last year here at home and took it to them. It was early in the season, but now that it's like sandwiched in between conference play, does that make it an even more dangerous game when it comes to maybe the mentality of getting out of conference for a cup of coffee?
Well, I think it's tough, and obviously the scheduling playing before break was optimal. That's what we wanted to do. It just fit with everything, and now you kind of jamming it in there. And like I said, you made a tough stretch. Now you made it a gauntlet, and so again, we try to look at all the positives and think, okay, it's going to be good for us to test us to play some good teams at home, and then in battle, and then go on the road and play some really good teams, and just to keep. Can we keep getting better? Can we keep handling adversity? Can we keep handling the tough times? And so, it's. I don't think it's ideal, but it's there, and we're gonna approach it the way we always do, and then see what happens.
It's also a rematch of last year's Midwest Regional Championship game here in Allendale, in which you were able to prevail in that one as well. Coach Mike, before I let you go, with a busy stretch coming up, the 4-game homestand, what's your focus to your team this week in practice?
It's been, we kind of recouping from that UP trip. We kind of went light today. We'll kind of wrap it up again tomorrow and then kind of back off Wednesday. We kind of worked on us and some things that we need to clean up today, and then tomorrow we'll kind of start prepping for Wayne State and Purdue Northwest, and then, you don't get much of a break because you're going to play. You can sit, you take a day off, then you play, and then you take a day off and you play. So it's going to be short prep times for each game, but again, with a veteran crew, you hope you can handle that.
Coach Mike, as always, we appreciate it. We'll chat again this weekend.
All right, man. Thank you.
Wayne State again on Thursday for a doubleheader. Women at 5:30, men at 7:30. All the fun begins at 5:15. Purdue Northwest on Saturday. Women at 1, men at 3, 12:45 with the pregame coverage. Then next Monday, the women have that non-conference premier showdown against Ashland at 5:30 here in Allendale. 5:15 will be the pregame coverage. Then a week from Thursday, wrapping up the homestand, it's the Crosstown Showdown against Davenport. Women at 5:30, men at 7:30. All the fun begins at 5:15 on that Thursday, and then we hit the road that following week with 3 doubleheaders in a span of a week. That's going to wrap things up here for the GVSU Basketball Weekly Insider. For everybody involved, I'm Brian Fongers saying thanks for tuning in. You've been tuning in live to the Grand Valley Sports Network. Anchor up, and as always, go Lakers. We'll talk to you again on Thursday night from the Fieldhouse Arena in Allendale.
Thanks for listening to the GVSU Basketball